Ever since the end of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, a lot of Star Wars fans have been very much criticizing what's been going on with the latest Star Wars TV shows like the Kenobi series and the Book of Boba Fett, which, by the way, had a lot of constrictions because of Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, the one big thing that Favreau and Filoni are currently up to in order to really kind of steer things in the right path for the Star Wars franchise is by really delivering new types of experiences that fans have never seen before, as well as diving back into Star Wars legends. Again, it's all about recreating those stories that we have all seen for the, of course, Throne trilogy, Shadows of the Empire, and let's not forget about all of the other Star Wars projects that have been labeled as the highlights of Legends, such as the New Jedi Order books and a whole lot more. Now, given that Favreau and Filoni are making multiple pitches to Disney higher-ups, the Disney board members, so to speak, in order to really give the fans a new direction for the franchise that will be announced, by the way, at Star Wars Celebration next year, as well as D23, so be aware that those two big events are going to be the destinations of all of these major announcements. And even in 2024, they are planning on yet another celebration that's going to be an even bigger deal for the Star Wars franchise. So with that being said and all, what's even all the more exciting has a lot to do with Favreau and Filoni's plan with, of course, the new Star Wars universe about getting a specific A-list actor on board of the actual franchise for Star Wars as a whole. Now, of course, with Lucasfilm always looking for more talent to debut new or well-known actors into their Star Wars franchise, they recently have been forming something truly spectacular for the role of a new character that they have all eyes on for Henry Cavill. Now, it's noted that both creators Favreau and Filoni are already creating a plan to hire actor Henry Cavill after he was recently let go as Superman from the DC universe. Right now, many production companies are scrambling and trying to get Cavill to become a part of their films. However, Disney and Lucasfilm are said to have a well-thought-out plan to get Cavill into the Star Wars franchise. Now, it's noted that both John and Dave have already brought this up to the Disney board, that they would find it very smart to bring in Cavill to become a part of either one of their Mandoverse projects, or perhaps one of the upcoming Old Republic films in the Star Wars franchise that they are contacting, of course, with by Disney, and the board members of Lucasfilm have actually gotten contact with Cavill already, surprisingly, and has held great interest in signing on for a role to the Star Wars universe. So let me just pause here for a second. The big deal about this is that you guys may very well be aware about the whole Henry Cavill situation. He got let go as Superman. It was a very strange thing. He came back for a cameo in Black Adam's post-credit scene, and then he just gets let go. It just made no sense to me at all, but he was very admirable about the whole situation. You know, he was very respectful. He wrote a whole entire thing a couple of days ago. And believe it or not, since he got fired, or since he was let go, a lot of movie production companies have been reaching out to Cavill like a pack of wolves. I mean, it's been a crazy couple of days. So many production companies are coming to him, trying to get him on board, signing this and signing that. And the latest is Disney and Lucasfilm. And basically, Favreau and Filoni have this pitch to get him involved in one of their Mandalorian stories, and or the Old Republic movies that are in the early development phase. And Cavill has held interest already in coming a part of the Star Wars universe. Now, I don't know who on earth he could play in the Star Wars franchise. There are multiple options available. There is no word on what they want Henry Cavill to portray, or who they want him to portray in the series and or the films. We're not quite sure about that just yet. The only thing that we do know is that he has been contacted, Cavill has held interest, Favreau and Filoni are planning to get him involved in either A Mandoverse project for television, and or B, those Old Republic movies that they are currently in the early development phase, to get him on board of one of those. Now, if it were up to me, I think it would be quite amazing if they did something like maybe getting him on board to become, you know, maybe a temple guard or something like that, kind of like what we saw with Idris Elba in the Thor movies, you know, something like that with Asgard. I could see something like that, to be honest. You know, I'm not quite sure if we could really see him, you know, as a Jedi per se. I'm not quite sure. I think he would be great for a more, you know, dark side of role if it was more into the action side of things, but hey, that's just me. You know, I would like to leave it up to your imagination. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about that, but moving on to the next thing here. Now, it's currently unclear who Cavill would play, like I say, but this is a sudden development happening behind the scenes. Cavill has been getting many offers for different roles since his Superman departure, with many fans not so happy with James Gunn. Favreau and Filoni are big fans of Henry and are finding every chance to get him on board. Disney executives are said to be very persistent about this plan, and they are very desperate of getting Cavill on board. Now, let me just stop here for a second. Now, I think that Cavill, if he were to be very smart, he would want to do some digging and make sure that this project, whatever he does eventually sign up for the Star Wars franchise, that it's going to best suit him, and that it's not going to be a show and or a film that's going to have a lot of backlash and or division. He should really make sure that it's going to be a very successful project and kind of read up on the lore and understand more about it. So I think that's when things could really take off. Now, the thing about this too is that Kathleen Kennedy, thankfully, has no say in the matter. You know, she has been dead silent about all of this, but happening behind the scenes. She has no input on Cavill getting on board of Star Wars. She has no say in the matter. It's all up to Favreau and Filoni because, thankfully, Bob Chapek gave them a lot of privileges, a lot of promotions over at Lucasfilm, and a lot of that has to do with the hiring process of their projects, that they are either A, heavily involved in as main writers, or B, even involved in as co-writers. You know, they have a lot of privileges over there. So there's a lot of things happening with Cavill right now. I mean, we got a lot of production companies reaching out to him one by one, and he is interested in Disney and Lucasfilm. You know, let's just put that forward there, is that he holds a lot of interest in becoming a part of the Star Wars franchise. Will he become a part of Marvel as well, as Disney has been reaching out to him constantly? That's another big deal. You know, will we see him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? That's another big mystery. I know a lot of fans out there want to see him in the MCU, but let's not forget that Disney owns, you know, both, of course, Star Wars, you know, the whole Lucasfilm thing, and they run Marvel. So they run the whole Marvel thing when it comes to all of the releases and all of those movies, you name it. So there's a lot of great things coming out of this. It's going to be quite interesting to see what other roles Cavill's going to get offered from different companies over the next couple of months. So anyways, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.